Just another prune in the war against irregularity. Welcome to the Breakfast with Barry Lee podcast. Stand by for my special guest on the podcast, Russell Rinker. He's the director of the Spring Follies this weekend at the Lord Fairfax Community College. We'll talk about the show and about Russell's showbiz career, including a stint as part of the Blue Man Group. Right now, let's massage that frontal lobe with the Brainbuster. Nearly 80% of women say this is one of their biggest regrets from high school. What is it? A, who they ended up going to prom with. B, not studying harder. Or C, their hairstyle. Your answer coming up in minutes. Looking at the old podcast planner, nationaldaycalendar.com, today is Sexual Assault Awareness Month Day of Action. The aim of the day is to stop sexual assault, harassment, and abuse before they happen through education. It's National Read a Roadmap Day, the first roadmap drawn by John Ogilvy in 1675. And if you look close enough, there's probably a little Starbucks on one of those street corners. But seriously, GPS and voice command directions today, miraculous. But what happens if your battery dies? Always good to know how to read a map. All right, now let's have some fun. I am excited to have a good friend on the podcast. He describes himself as a serious-looking, silly person, one of the most talented people I know. Funny, incredible musician, incredible singer, and he is the director of the Spring Follies that's coming up on the 9th and 10th of April at Lord Fairfax Community College. Russell Rinker, I am so proud to have you with us on the podcast, buddy.
Barry Lee, my dear friend. It is an honor, buddy. So great to talk to you always.
The long story is you started out with what used to be the Fairfax Follies, directed by Andrea Ludwig, and your mom would be helping out. And you were like, what, 4 years old?
4 years old. So little and cute back then.
Talented even then. But how do you sum up the time you left the stage at 4 to now?
Well, it certainly has been an exciting journey for sure, with lots of surprises along the way. But really, the Follies was the big part of that as far as setting me on my path. So I started singing and taking piano lessons when I was 4. And people often ask me, when did you decide that you were going to be an actor or a performer or whatever? And I just say I didn't decide. It was just kind of what was going to happen. I just thought, that's just what's going to happen. So it has always been in me, and as far as who I am and what I wanted to do. And in the Follies, I was able to sing and play the piano and act in skits and do dance numbers. And I just think that was really formative. I give a lot of credit to Andrea Ludwig for being an early inspiration and a mentor for me, and just giving you those opportunities to kind of do different things and see how that feels, and to watch other experienced performers do these skits and learn about comedic timing and pick up all kinds of tricks along the way. So yeah, I just did that all the way through high school and came back after I graduated and was out performing in the world. I still came back to participate in the Follies anytime that I could, eventually becoming music director. And a couple of years ago, when Andrea retired, she asked me to take over as director. So here we are.
You're being very modest, but you have performed on stages all over this country and even did a stint as part of the Blue Man Group.
Yes. I have been very lucky to have some really amazing opportunities. Really right out of the gates when I graduated college, started doing a lot of musical theater, a lot of classical theater like Shakespeare and stuff like that. But I always did music, and really my joy was always from doing comedy and making people laugh. I remember actually very early on in the Follies learning that making someone laugh was like giving them a gift. My mom explained, I was doing a skit and I was like, they're laughing at me. She's like, no, you're giving them a gift and they're laughing because they're happy about it. And that just stuck with me. So, yeah, I had the opportunity to audition for the Blue Man Group, which is just a wild experience and incorporates music and acting and all kinds of stuff. And it's a little bit weird, which I enjoy. Actually quite weird, but in the best ways. So that was really a phenomenal experience. I performed in Las Vegas for 5 years. I toured North America for 2 years. I performed internationally as well through that and did TV stuff and commercials and all kinds of stuff. So it really was an incredible experience. And yeah, I've toured with other music acts and performed at theaters across the country. So yeah, I've been very fortunate. I consider myself very lucky.
And real quick, before we move into the Spring Follies, the blue stuff did finally come off, right? I mean...
You know, I'm still finding traces of it all these years later. I haven't found any in a while, but yeah, when you're doing the show, it is like a grease paint, like Vaseline almost. So it stays wet pretty much forever, and if it gets on something, it's on there. So there are pictures and posters and stuff around my house, but that's the only places that the blue is showing up these days.
All right. So the Spring Follies coming up this Saturday and Sunday, the 9th and 10th. And this is going to be a new location, still there at Lord Fairfax Community College, but in a much bigger venue, the Corin Conference Center. But we're taking a little trip back to where?
Back to the 1960s. We're still, dealing with a lot of issues that were happening then, so there's relevance there. And, of course, the music is just incredible. So many incredible songs. But we've been having a really great time with it. 2 years ago, we were able to get the Follies in just before the pandemic started, and our theme was the 1950s, and that was very well received. And so we had thought, we'll do the 60s next time, and the show couldn't happen last year, but this year we're jumping right back into it. And as you said, we're at the Corin Conference Center, which is where the pre-show for the Follies used to be. It's a big space, and it's a new stage, and it's giving us a lot of new opportunities to do things a little bit differently. And that's kind of where the heart and the magic of the Follies exists, in being adaptable and flexible and throwing people in that want to participate, and a real sense of community spirit and just going for it. So that is alive and well, and that's really the most important part.
I can only imagine with you as music director, I mean, we're going to hear all kinds of great tunes from the 60s, dances and skits, and maybe a word about where this cast comes from.
Well, that's the best part, too. I mean, I have been very fortunate to perform with Broadway stars and rock stars and people just at the top of their game in so many levels. But it always inspires me to come back and find people locally, your friends, your neighbors, that are so talented and so excited to get up on stage and do this thing. Those of us that do it all the time, it's not like we take it for granted, but for folks that just get to do this like once a year or a couple times a year, it's such a treat for them, and that really shows in their joy and excitement. And when their friends and family come, that just creates such a great feeling. So yes, we have some folks from the college and just local people, families, kids and parents. We watch them grow up through the years as they perform. Just people from the community that have the goods, man. They can do it. They can sing and dance and act, and it's so rewarding and it's so fulfilling because it's very sincere. No one is pretentious. No one is coming in with, oh, I'm a diva and I've got this. It's just a group of good people putting up a good show.
Well, to quote your mom, you're giving a gift.
Right. We are giving a gift. That's one reason I come back and do it. Like I said, the experiences I got from the Follies and from Andrea really helped me. And so now I'm on the other side of it, trying to give back to this entity that I got so much from and give back to the community, which especially now, we need joy, we need fun, we always need laughter, but the way things are, we really need to be able to get together and have a group experience that is exuberant and joyful and can bring us together. So we're really excited to be doing it.
Well put. All right, the shows this Saturday, 2 and 7 p.m., then on Sunday, the 10th, 2 and 6 p.m. right there at the Corin Conference Center. Admission is $5. Kids under 6 get in free. You're going to see a heck of a show, and the only Russell Rinker there directing the whole thing, man. Congratulations.
You flatter me, sir. Yes, thank you. We've got a great group, live band, and it is family friendly. The Follies have always been family friendly, so bring your kids, bring your grandma, bring everyone. It's going to be great. And the Corin Center is much bigger, too, so we're hoping everyone will come out and have fun with us.
Looking forward to seeing it. Russell Rinker, director of the Spring Follies, coming up this weekend. Thank you, my friend. Thanks for what you give, and thanks for sharing your talents with so many.
Thank you, Barry. It's been great talking to you, my friend.
Time to light the candles on the cake. Celebrity birthdays today. Pharrell Williams, happy 49 today. Paula Cole turns 54. The song, All Summer Long by Kid Rock. It was released this day, 2008. The band REM formed on this day, 1980, and Married with Children premiered 1987. Our local celebrity, she does so much for this community, Sally Coates. Same goes for Dee Dee Barber, thanks for all you do. Former broadcast buddy and person extraordinaire, Ginny Woodward, Tia Burton Muselin, Victoria Cruz, Sue Scholl, Vicki Ritter, Karen Cohn, Nancy Schrock, Rutledge Patterson, Tim Welsh, Colt Nutter, and Perry Glass. To you. On the Brainbuster, nearly 80% of women in this particular survey said that this is one of their biggest regrets from high school. What is it? A, who they ended up going to prom with. B, not studying harder. Or C, their hairstyle. The answer is the hairstyle. What a joy to have you with us on the podcast. Let me know when your birthday is. My email address right there at the website, breakfastwithbarrylee.com. In closing this Tuesday podcast, let me just say that I hope your ship comes in before the dock rots. Blessings.